Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Jim Gardner.
Wednesday morning, and the big story in Action News is about cybercrime. Senator John McCain has warned that the EU's government is not prepared for the Russian attempts to hack the new elections in France and in other European countries. Action News reporter Marco Rodriguez is live in the congressional retreat here in Philadelphia. Marcos.
That's right, Jennifer. Arizona Senator admit that the Trump administration doesn't have a strategy yet to overcome this situation. Meanwhile, France is having the first round of the presidential election on April. On the national Marine Le Pen is leading in the polls. She's the head of the National Front, a French right party that is accused for having ties with the Russian government and the banks. During her campaign, that has insisted that the relation between both countries have to improve, claiming that the Crimea invasion was legitimate and that the sanctions against the Russian government from the European Union should be eliminated.
Situation, and there's no doubt about the hacking. Let's establish that. I was hacked into. My campaign in 2008 was hacked into, so there's no doubt about the hacking. Then the question is about the intention, but it's all part of the law.
McCain spoke too about the fact that they knew that the Russians tried to influence our election, but that President Trump seems to not have any policy towards Russia for this action. He accused Vladimir Putin for being a KGB criminal and made a pessimist prediction that if these cyber attacks continue, our world that is already more dangerous than any time in the last 17 years could get worse. From Philadelphia, Marcos Rodriguez, Action News.
And these crimes are not just happening in the US and Europe. An operator of a nuclear plant in South Korea said that the computer systems were hacked, and these actions could have been done by North Korea government in an attempt to control important infrastructure on the neighbor country. Action News report Valentina has the details.
Since the Korean War, the relation between the countries have getting worse every year. But now a bigger problem is taking place: cyber attacks. This type of crime is being supposedly done by Kim Jong-un government against South Korea nuclear installations. On Monday, different plants all over the country were hacked, shooting a safety alarm in the government. This attack come after US blamed North Korea of being hacking Sony Pictures, making the company cancel the release of a new series about the fictional assassination of the Secretary of State of leader Jong-un. But North Korea had denied these allegations and threatened the US government with retaliates. If they continue with these announcements, they affirm that behind this series is Obama administration. However, important information about the nuclear system was not leaked. This was confirmed by the officials in Seoul, adding later that any attack could and will be handled by government of South Korea. The President, Yoon Hye, ordered a total revision of all important infrastructures to prevent any of what we call, quote, cyber terrorism. Even though most people are convinced in who done this attack, the enemy minister and official of one of the most important nuclear power stations in the country, Chung Yahoo, made not mention of North Korea during a press conference. What he did mention is that the hackers were able to get personal data from over 10,000 workers in the industry, as well as design and manuals for 2 reactors and other kinds of information as a level of radiation that comes out of these places. The investigations continue being a priority for the government, remembering that nuclear plants generate 1/3 of South Korea's energy, making it one of the most upgrowing sectors nowadays, an important target for the possible enemies all over the globe. From Seoul, Valentina, Action News.
God, it's you?
Of course it's me.
What are you wearing?
The new axe. You didn't know?
Oh my
God.
God.
The new axe.
Now, cybercrimes are not just against governments. Here in the US, every day, small businesses are being attacked by hackers, creating in this form new way to store people. And perhaps the government is trying to stop it. These practices are becoming more common. Actions Need report Alejandro has the testimony from one of their victims.
It's a normal day at work for the vehicles company MHI Platinum, but they didn't know what was coming. Last year, this business got infected by a virus that encrypted almost all the files of the network of the company. The responsible hackers asked for $3,000 in order to decrypt the files. The company tried everything to eliminate the virus, but after determining that this was impossible without risking important information, they decided to pay. It is believed that the attack was able to occur after one of the employees clicked a link in an email, sent it to the company's account. The manager director, Mark Handel, said that the company was totally unprepared for these actions and that they never thought they could become the victims. However, he was happy to get all the files back. But they are not an isolated case. Experts in the cybercrime area are warning that the small businesses are becoming the favorite target of hackers due to the low level of security and the lack of awareness of how much danger they can make. A report was shown by the security department saying that at least 3/4 of the small companies, more than 70%, have reported some kind of hacking during the past year, what means an increase of the cases since 2014. The same department, in a final inform, got to the conclusion that most viruses are sent through fake emails, that when we open it, they infect our system and take the control of the situation. Stephen Riddle, head of an important technology, cyber and data insurance company, said that the small businesses are starting to realize the importance of good security systems, and he also ensures that there is no excuse to leave this issue aside, and that's why he decided to create a quick and simple method to prevent cybercrime, starting for the security password that must be changed constantly to the education of the staff about this subject and how it should be handled. Adding to these recommendations, a new option that will be available for 2018 but is accessible in this moment is the subscription to the company to the Cyber Essential program, where the government, trying to make new regulation for these companies, will enforce the cybersecurity laws in order to be able to face the future challenges. But in the meantime, anyone can become a victim. From Washington, D.C., Alejandro, Action News.
To tell more about what is cybercrime and how it's becoming a new truth in our society, today we invited in the studio the special agent in charge on the cyber attack department of the FBI, the agent David Caruso and agent Emily Prince. Well, let's start from the beginning. What is cybercrime and why is so important for the FBI Special Agent Caruso?
Well, cybercrime is an illegal activity done throughout internet by hackers. They have the ability to introduce viruses in system of the government, which create a problem for the nation, especially the CIA.
But who is behind these attacks? It is normal people with really good abilities in technology, or sometimes more big and dangerous.
It could be anyone. Computer geeks trying to steal non-official information. It could be criminals trying to steal your credit card numbers. It could be terrorists that took that information and sold it to the black market. Or it could be businessmen trying to steal data from competitors in order to beat them.
Okay. Well, before we continue, some understatements.
Have this happened to you? You're talking on the phone and suddenly someone takes your wallet and copy all the information from your credit card without you noticing. Then you come back home, get into your bank account, and yes, someone has told you. But you don't have to throw away your wallet. With the new Protect, you can easily take your old wallet and make it the safest in the world and, most important, anti-theft. Now, you just have to put it in and we assure you that you will never be this guy.
We are right. But is this action are getting more uncommon? What is doing the FBI to stop it?
Well, it is not an easy task, and that's why during the last year, especially 9/11, we have been deploying a new branch in our department, which capabilities and technological knowledge in order to stop them and bring them to justice.
Okay. And you have some recommendation for people and companies of way they can actually to do avoid being another victim.
Yeah, FBI have 4 special recommendations. They're easy to follow, but it's important that you don't want to be a victim. The first one is installing firewalls that are any kind of antivirus on in order to make the hackers more difficult to extraction information. The other one is making the company make a plan in order to, if the virus attack the system of the company, there's a plan all over the company. The other one is teaching your employees that using important data, it's really classified and they have to have control about it. And the last one is use private accounts to give important information only to the people that need it. And that's it.
Thank you, agents. Sport report is next. In name of Action New Production Team, I am Jennifer Limachi. Thanks for watching.